Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, stamp pickers. It is a Sunday and it's time to look at some more stamps. So I'm continuing on with the East Germany DDR collection that I have started to gather together. And we're up to 1969, so we've been from 1949, so we're 20 years ahead. We've travelled in time 20 years, and we've got the Olympic movement stamp here. And it's put to one side, otherwise it will stick out at the top. And we don't want that, do we? No, we don't. What else have we got? Denmark. Why on earth have we got a Denmarkish type stamp? Not that one. That one. Good Dent Starter, Copenhagen. Yeah, I don't know why. For Denmark anyway. So maybe there was something going on in Denmark that the East Germans wanted to support. Maybe look upable. I'm sure everything is look upable now, but we'll continue on. Russian art. Werke russische und sowjetische Malerie. Don't know what that means. And here we have another example of Russian art. You see the strong, firm, manly posing of this character. Very Russian. And then finally we have a final. So there's three of those. More German. And yeah. So that's Russian art. Or art at any rate. 1970 protected plants. Couple of those. Helmet archaeology. So digging up stuff and putting it on display. There we have it. 1970, big year for the for communism. Lenin birthday. So we have some portraits of the man. Das Lenin Denkmal in Eisleben. Das Lenin Denkmal in Eisleben. Berlin Hauptstadt der DDR, Leninplatz. So they have their own palace there for Lenin. 1970 famous people again. Here we got Ernst Barlach. Here we have Johann Gutenberg. 1970s we got Red Foxes. International Leipziger Rauch. Again, Leipzig is highly featured here. Friezes. Archaeology again. I don't really know much about archaeology, I should. 1970 monument heads and Landsmuseum collection. So they're looking at... yeah, there are obviously some political propaganda pieces, but also they're looking at natural stuff and that. But it's mostly political stuff. Engels, 150th anniversary, Brot Congress, Proft, I don't know what that is. Proft Transformator. Something to do with radio, television, I think, or communications anyway. 1970 Antelope, Freedom from Fascism. You know, every now and again you get a flower or a fauna or a flora, and then it's back to the propaganda. That noise is me sipping coffee and trying to clear my nose. My sinuses are bad. Mongolia. I don't know why. Paris Commune. A lot of socialism and communism, Trotskyism, revolution was actually based on the communes in Paris from which Napoleon sprung. 1971, again we've had a lovely... that is a lovely piece. That's a lovely propaganda piece, even though I say so myself. The 8th party tag der SED. Castle Kopernik. Very Bundespost, that I think. 1971 Golden Fleece. Again, there's an element of Bundespost. I'm looking maybe over the border and thinking, should we be looking at their stamps? They're putting this stuff out. Should we too? Maybe. Sorbian costume. Sorbia being an area, I presume, of Germany, East Germany. Sorbischer Tanztrakt. Herbstgesser. Herbstgesser. That's anyone's guess. 1971 we are in. And flowers. Important people. Becker. And Coppola. So it's 1970. We move across. Oh, wow. National People's Army. Look at that. A nice photograph there of a guy. So he has grown up, joined the army, and his photograph taken has become a public face of National Volksarmy. Has lived and presumably died. When was that? 50 odd years ago. Could still be alive. Philip Melanchthon, 1971. 1471 to 1971, so that's an anniversary of him. George Dimitrov, 1972. These are all look upable, by the way, if you're interested in them. Ceylon, Sri Lanka. Are they looking at the name change there? They may well be, you know. Or independence, maybe, from the great fascists of the British Empire, as they would call us. Winter Olympics 1972. Look at those. I'm not sure what that is. Probably youth sport. Olympic Games 1972. So we've got winter, we've got summer here. Pole vault, rowing. I think they did very well at rowing, the East Germans. Children reading 1972. Christmas reindeer. Arab Celestials. Rococo artwork. So yeah, we're getting into the modern era and less propaganda now and more sport and internationalism. 1973 places, different places. The Rat House, the Eisenbacher, I don't know what that is. Leninplatz by the look of it, because we saw that area in the previous stamp, didn't we? Telefusion, all this sort of thing. Marx, Platz, Dresden, rebuilt after the war. Soviet influence there, and then the smaller ones. So these, I would say, are definitives. That was possible. That looks. I would say cancel to order myself. Showbirds. Possibly used. Trains. Berlin. 1974. Famous personalities. George Handker. And another person. And then I've got a block of 4 there. That needs actually to go somewhere else later. Right, we're coming to now 1974 lighthouses. That's one blocked off because I found an extra one, so I had to squeeze it in. So I've got 4 of those. And then we're looking at some lace. Examples of lace. Minerals, stuff you dig up. Plants. Artwork. Here. 1774 example. And here we have 25th anniversary of the country itself, the 25th Yara, DDR, the Yara, and there's the symbol of the country itself. Next up, we got Universal Postal Union. So welcome to the world. Weltpostverein. Weltpostverein. Union Postale Universal. Handball World Championships. Montplaisir. Don't know what that is. Porcelain. And more trains. Or bridges, I should say. Bridges. This is bridges. Bridges, yes. 200. What's going on? I don't know. Zoo, even. Not 200. Oh, nice. Go to a monkey. Academy. I think it's looking into space. The Academy der Wissenschaften der DDR. Academy der Wissenschaften. Road safety. We were getting these sorts of things in the German Bundespost. Jugendspar. So we've got young people doing sporty stuff. They're very, very keen, as we discussed earlier. We'll go through as far as we can here. 30 years freedom from fascism. Again, they just can't help themselves. There are these political statements coming out on their stamps, slogans, political slogans, and the propaganda pieces. Eisenhüttenstadt, 25th anniversary. Again, I've had to put them to the side, so you'd have to excuse me for that. Super fishing trawler. Leipzig again is mentioned. Aquarium. Triangle guppy there. Schnauzer. So that's a dog, which you can't see. Olympic Games. Spieler. Olympiada. Museum art. Like a Henry Moore, that, isn't it? But I don't think it is. It's another like a... Yeah. And then actually a stamp. Sauce Philex. Sport technology. Fire service. Men running around with ladders, rescuing women from bedrooms. Yeah, rescuing families sometimes. 1977 natural monuments. So stuff to be proud of. Red deer. And this has had to be slipped in. Strangely mother and child. The first real Christmas stamp. We had Christmas reindeer, but we're seeing sort of maybe taking the boot off the foot of the Christian here, or the Catholic even, and allowing Our Lady and Our Lord Jesus into the stamp realm. We've looked at other countries and it's stuff full of them. Religious motifs, etc. Artwork. Mother and Child, Madonna, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. All that stuff. So something going on there. Historic costumes. Again, they are looking at that. And then a philatelic show. So a stamp show in some way. Philatelic show. I don't know what I'm not sure about that, what's going on there. We're going to leave it at that for now. I hope you've enjoyed this little look. It's been a little bit hairy-mary. We've got one more to do, and then we'll be at the end when the the Eastern German wall in Berlin will crumble and Germany will be united again. Oh, bit of coffee again. So some lovely stamps. It's interesting. You've got to admire some of the artwork on them. I mean, in particular, I do like the sporty ones. Anyway, we'll leave it at that for now. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up. Stamp collecting is fun, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye for now.